Okay, so we've got 8 open mic readers, so obviously we're going to have 4 now, then we're going to have a set each from the featured poets, then the interval, then the other 4 open mic poets, then final closing sets from each of the featured poets. So that's how it's going to work. So I'm going to introduce people from the last people to sign on will go first, and so on and so forth. So I'd like you just to say that the amount of time you've got is about 3 minutes, so that's 3 short poems or 2 moderate poems. So keep to that, please, because we want to keep the show fairly tight this evening, and make sure you don't get too hot and bothered in this cellar on a fine summer's evening. But thank you for coming to our Jumping June evening. And first up from the open mic poets, I'd like you to give a big Dodo Modern Poets welcome to Barbara O'Donnell.
Good evening, everybody. How are we?
Good.
Good. I'm going to be reading off the mobile tonight. So I've got 2 short poems for you. The first of which is called Knife. In England, years later, I glance at the particular brand of knife she favoured, trying to buy her back now for the one room where she was queen. The Republic of Telly skits on Irish mammies, refreshes her and cuts to the quick. The knife taunts now, evokes the autopsy scalpel, used to tell us her heart was broken, arteries split. And one more. This is called Mythwife. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Out of interest. Thank you. Okay. Mythwife. Recreating the teenage years they never had, stumbling round in graveyards after midnight. He steals cigarettes, kisses, mounts a soft, sustained, tactile campaign. Her hands, her wrist, her waist. Over supper, he sings to her. Afterwards, they read in his quiet, sparse room. The wind and rain are more October than July. Sprawled on the couch, he is Usheen, King of Tir na Nog. It might be an invitation. Too cryptic, so she keeps reading, aloud. If his lips touched hers, the night would end, but their kiss would be timeless. She wishes for Beatrice to his Dante, not Wendy to his Peter Pan.
Starting off there on a wonderful, mythical note, Barbara O'Donnell, more applause please. And next is Sam Gardham, who I think I've seen read here before at the Poetry at 3 open mic afternoon. So he comes with recommendations. So here he is.
Actually, I've never read here before, and I didn't know this morning that I would be reading here, or particularly that I'd be coming here. So I've got some old drafts that I've cobbled together. So this is a prose poem about my relationship with my dad, and it's not about all of it, it's about some of it. We rose with the hill over sprinkled white dot sheep and a man in a red cagoule moving along up the foot of our path on the ground. The wind gained a buoyancy up here, and it ran among us, and it lifted like a giant parachute over there in the air. My ears stang, and it scrabbled and caught over my face. I feel a lot of guilt over the divorce, my dad Paul was saying. Missing a lot of you and Golda growing up, you know, not seeing you every day. That was horrible. I usually call him Paul to his face, so he's my dad here. And then he said, and not to think that my inner turmoil would result in that. I looked over to the right where the edge was. Some people were standing there watching these 2 remote control model aeroplanes above where the land dropped away and skimmed flat beyond. 2 birds which Paul thought were kites floated over and occasionally angled down to get a closer look. You know, as you've grown older, he said, you can ask me questions about the divorce. The clouds were swollen with rain and bellying down the sky. So as we kept climbing, it hung lower and closer than usual. I found I was looking around for things to look at, things that move, anything of interest. Emotions for me are blurred pictures. So I imagined if we kept walking and going up, we'd just walk up into the sky and find very hard to find our way out again. Perhaps as you can see, have you ever seen the film Bambi? Yeah. You know, the bunny Thumper. You know what my leg's doing at the moment? Because I haven't read anything in about a year, so... Yeah, anyway, so I have some shorter things that... Well, basically what I do is... Oh shit, what do I do? I've been doing these individual months, starting with... I think, isn't April National Poetry Month or something? Mm-hmm. I didn't know, but I wrote something... I had to write something every day of that month. So I've been continuing doing it this month, so I've got these shorter poems that I've been doing for that. So this is a really simple one, because a friend of mine said to me, bullshit, none of this stuff is simple, you simplify it, so I've simplified it. So there you go. This is called Cycle. I'm an iceberg where everything's cold and the same colour. Then I meet someone else, and I melt over them, and soak into their skin, and I'm awake. But when I freeze again, it's in their shape. Now this is something I did the day after that, which is, have you seen Casablanca? It's a great film, it's a really great film. I was watching the male actors' faces, and I thought how stony their faces are. I mean, ideas of masculinity back then were very different to how they are now. So I wrote this, it's called Men Casablanca. Humphrey Bogart is hidden behind his face. Ingrid Bergman is her face. After the shoot, he goes home, takes off his suit jacket, tight enough to be a corset, unloosens his tie, and says hello again to the person he mistakes for a woman in the mirror, privately to himself. Drop the mic.
Sam Gardham, thank you very much, Sam. Hello and thank you. Okay, last of our open mic spots in the first half, I'd like to introduce Dominic Luna.
Simple Pleasures 461. If you have friends who visit London and you pass a cemetery or burial plot, infer to them with total confidence that Sherlock Holmes is buried there. You can tell them it was his final wish while plunging over Reichenbach Falls to be interred by the side of the A3 motorway, Plot J, Grave 11. A 1994 study claims that 97% of people involved in US traffic accidents that year had eaten pickles at least once in their lifetime. When will pickles be brought to justice for their wanton disregard for human life? I have an imaginary friend called Alan. Growing up, we were partners in crime, inseparable in our sublime antics, best friends forever. But Alan has outgrown me. We drifted apart in college, and now Alan is married with kids. He works in development and has no time for me. He likes brewing his own beer and fixing old scooters. He told me I should grow up like him, but Alan will always be my bestest of best friends with the enormous purple head that I gave him. I interviewed Julie Andrews for a fishing magazine, Carp Weekly. I asked her, Miss Andrews, how do you stay so youthful and energetic? She smiles. Plenty of fresh air, plenty of fruit, and the freshly squeezed blood of one newborn puppy. The interview ends.
Thank you, Dominic.